Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Magic Knight Rayearth. We're still exploring the cave linking us to the castle, and we get thrown right into a random battle with those clay golems, which golems are, oh my god, that just did over 5,000 damage. I have to wonder, Balafarga, where have you been this whole time while we were stuck with that piece of garbage $30,000 guide? We all know what she really is, but I'm not going to say it. Use your imaginations. And he only takes one in return, so we can do 5,000. He can take one. Is there anything this guy can't do? Well, aside from cast spells like Blue Hate, be careful, you don't want to turn to the dark side, now do you? What do we hear? Big Home. That's what that blue palette swap statter thing is called. Big Home. I have no idea what that is supposed to mean. Except maybe it's old Sephiroth for I want to get slashed to pieces by Mr. Sword Guy over there. When you see everyone else taking a few hundred per shot, and he's being hit in the single digits, it almost makes you wonder why he hasn't solved this whole emergency on his own. Oh, right. There's that whole Imperious thing. And in case you missed that, he just did over 8,000 damage with one critical. That is outrageous. I'm sorry, it is. You can see there's some treasures lying around if you want them. Really, they're not that important by now. Pretty much anything you can do, they can do better. But they're yours for the taking, and it really doesn't hurt you if you run into some MP recharge items. You'll want to save up on those for later on. Right now you don't really need them because you've got this guy throwing around a couple thousand as if it's going out of style. So you won't be as reliant on magics to do lots and lots of damage as you otherwise might. But that having been said, you know it's not going to last forever. Because we know that he can't take on Lord Zagato. It's just not going to happen. Now, here's a chance. If you need to escape, to leave, to recharge, you can stop and turn back. But you're feeling great. Onward! Where is it going to take us, though? This place kind of looks to me like the weirdo Fountain of Eterna. Only it's the mirror maze. Zephyrins must love their mazes. So you can see the mirrors with the dimmer hues. That's your cue as to where you can go in. Otherwise, it's the area plays very similarly. It also has sort of decoys like you saw going to the sea shrine. Oh goodness, this guy just hit so hard it's not funny. You could probably get away with having everyone else play all-out defense and just smacking everyone around with him. It'd take longer, but it would probably work. But there's no need for that really. Just attack, attack, attack. As long as you have him around and you're set. Ho hum, random enemies. I hope you've enjoyed what we've put on. It's been a bit of an effort at times to sync up two different people, but I hope it's contributed to your experience with the game. And we have our first palette swap of a boss. In case you've forgotten, this was Pfizer, that thing that Ascot had summoned against you way back at the Sea Shrine. And it's nothing new. Critical hit did 2 damage. And that breath shot did a lot more. That just goes to remind you, even with him, you're not invincible. You can still take ouchie damage, and you can still die. It's just harder. But even with the thing, it's only doing about 400 or 500 per year. There is no reason whatsoever why your HP should get that low. Because you can Healing Wind out of combat. It's cheap, and it will get you so much. More new enemies, Chimera, just as susceptible to the slashy that we've thrown to everyone else. And when you add in First Strike, you will tear through them. And there's also yet another Pfizer copycat. So you know when they're around, you need to be careful. In fact, being careful, it's a good rule of thumb everywhere here, because you never know going in who's going to be able to do some breath shot. Of course, as we've also just seen, his breath shot is the only thing threatening. But anticipate more of them and expect that you need to be ready to heal at a moment's notice. Okay, you can Healing Wind out of combat, it's cheap, and in combat she has some heal all spells. That's Fu's main role from here on out. Really, it's been that way ever since you got her Healing Wind in the first place. Oh my, so I guess Nafarga's not perfect after all. He can, in fact, miss. But otherwise, it's a random battle. It's nothing you haven't seen before. There's that fresh shot again. And you can see it does do decent damage. So that's really, in this part of the maze at least, the only thing you have to really be worried about. And that one Healing Wind, 4,500, it will almost always, if not always, be a full heal. So there's no reason why you should really have HP issues going into a battle. Poison's a bit of a concern. Fiumi is still poisoned, and the damage reduction is significant. If it's left untouched, it can add up. And with that copycat of Pfizer, we are basically done with this episode of Magic Knight Rayearth. We'll just grab ourselves that full heal we can see and come back to episode 19 when we break on through the mirror maze. This is WavemasterAshi with Kanako Ishiyama. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.